Have you ever noticed yourself stumbling more often, feeling unsteady, or even worrying about the risk of falling as you get older? It's a common fear, and for good reason. Losing balance is one of the most significant and dangerous changes that happen to our bodies as we age. But why does it happen, and what can you do to stop it? In this video, we're going to dive into 13 surprising reasons why your balance might be off after 60. And trust me, you won't want to miss the 7th reason, as it's the most dangerous one and something few people know about. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand the true causes behind balance problems, but you'll also discover simple, effective strategies to restore your stability, protect yourself from falls, and regain confidence in your movements. Whether you're struggling with muscle weakness, joint stiffness, vision changes, or something else entirely, we'll break down the factors that play a role and give you actionable steps to improve your balance today. So stay with us, because taking charge of your balance can literally change the way you live your life, and we're here to help you make that happen. If you are not subscribed, I recommend subscribing and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support means a lot to me, and if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. 1. Muscle weakness. As we journey through life, our bodies naturally change, and one of the most disheartening is the gradual weakening of our muscles. This process, known as sarcopenia, is not just a medical term. It's a reminder of how crucial it is to nurture and care for our physical strength. Starting as early as our 30s, this silent decline may seem minor at first, but after the age of 50, it can accelerate at an alarming rate, leaving many feeling frustrated and vulnerable. The loss of strength and muscle mass doesn't just affect how we look. It directly impacts our ability to live independently and confidently. Weakened core and leg muscles, in particular, can strip away the stability we once took for granted, making it harder to maintain balance or recover from something as simple as a small stumble. Imagine the fear and helplessness that comes from realizing that a single misstep could lead to a life-altering injury. It's a sobering thought. But here's the hopeful truth. This doesn't have to be an inevitable part of aging. With consistent effort, we can fight back. Strength training, regular exercise, and a protein-rich diet can make all the difference. Taking proactive steps not only preserves muscle mass but also restores confidence, vitality, and independence. It's empowering to know that we hold the key to our resilience. Yes, aging brings challenges, but it also offers the opportunity to rise above them and prove to ourselves that strength, both physical and emotional, is something we can reclaim at any age. 2. Joint stiffness. One of the most frustrating aspects of growing older is the creeping stiffness that begins to invade our once fluid joints. It's heartbreaking to feel your body resisting movements that used to come so effortlessly. This change is largely due to the natural wear and tear of cartilage and connective tissue over time, but inactivity often accelerates this process. With age, many of us tend to move less, whether due to busy schedules, health issues, or simply underestimating the importance of staying active. Stiffness in critical joints like the hips, knees, and ankles becomes more than just a nuisance. It starts to limit our independence. Tasks we take for granted, like standing up quickly, walking briskly, or bending down to pick something up, can become difficult or even painful. More concerningly, this loss of flexibility and adaptability affects our balance, increasing the risk of falls, a fear that looms large for many in their later years. I find this reality deeply sobering. It serves as a stark reminder of how vital it is to nurture our bodies as we age. While no one can completely halt the passage of time, it's clear that movement is medicine. Even small, consistent efforts, like stretching in the morning, gentle yoga, or daily walks, can combat this relentless stiffness. The thought of losing mobility, a precious gift we often take for granted in our youth, is genuinely emotional. It's a call to action for all of us to prioritize movement now, not just for today's health but for the sake of preserving freedom and quality of life as we age. It's never too late to start, and every step forward is a step toward defying the grip of joint stiffness and reclaiming the joy of motion. 3. Inner ear problems. Our sense of balance is a delicate masterpiece orchestrated by the vestibular system in our inner ear. This intricate network constantly communicates with our brain, providing critical information about the position and movement of our head. It's almost magical how seamlessly this system works, until it doesn't. As we age, the cells within this vital system can begin to deteriorate or lose efficiency, causing a ripple effect on our overall stability. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. The result: dizziness, vertigo, and an unsettling sense of imbalance can strike at the most unexpected moments. It's not just a physical challenge, it's an emotional burden, too. Imagine feeling like the ground beneath you is shifting, or the world around you is spinning uncontrollably. It's frightening, disorienting, and deeply frustrating. I can't help but feel a wave of sadness when I think about how this silent decline steals a person's confidence. Simple activities like walking to the kitchen, bending down to pick something up, or even getting out of bed can suddenly feel like daunting tasks. It's a reminder of how fragile our body systems truly are and how much we often take our stability for granted. While it's natural for these changes to occur with age, they serve as a powerful call to action. We need to be proactive, seeking medical advice, incorporating balance-focused exercises into our routine, and making home adjustments to ensure safety. After all, maintaining our sense of balance isn't just about physical well-being. It's about preserving our independence, our dignity, and the freedom to move through life with confidence. 4. Reduced proprioception. Proprioception, often called the sixth sense, is our body's remarkable ability to understand its position in space without consciously thinking about it. It's what allows us to walk confidently without staring at our feet or to reach for a cup of coffee without knocking it over. This incredible sense relies on specialized receptors nestled in our muscles, tendons, and joints, which send constant feedback to our brain about the movement and position of our body parts. But as we age, this vital system gradually loses its sharpness. These once reliable receptors become less sensitive, and the signals they send to the brain grow weaker and slower. The result: everyday activities we once took for granted, like walking on an uneven path, climbing a staircase, or even carrying a heavy grocery bag, suddenly feel like daunting tasks. Imagine the frustration of tripping over a small crack in the sidewalk or feeling unsure of your footing on a familiar staircase. It's not just inconvenient, it's emotionally disheartening. This diminished proprioception doesn't just affect mobility, it chips away at confidence. Balance becomes more precarious, coordination feels off, and even simple actions like writing can feel clumsier. The fear of falling, an all-too-real concern for older adults, starts to cast a shadow over daily life. It's heartbreaking to see a loved one, or even yourself, hesitant to venture out for fear of stumbling, robbing moments of freedom and joy. I believe this is one of the most emotionally challenging aspects of aging. It's not just about physical ability, it's about independence, dignity, and the confidence to navigate the world without fear. While we can't completely stop the clock, we can take steps to combat these effects. Gentle exercises like yoga or Tai Chi can help improve balance and awareness, while staying physically active can keep the muscles and joints engaged. Proprioception may decline, but with mindful care, we can reclaim some control, rebuild confidence, and face each day with strength and determination. Let's not underestimate the power of hope and effort in the face of life's inevitable changes. 5. Changes in vision. Our eyes are one of the most precious gifts we have, serving as the window through which we perceive and navigate the world. Beyond allowing us to enjoy the beauty of a sunrise or the colors of a blooming garden, our vision plays a critical role in maintaining physical balance and spatial awareness. It's remarkable how much our eyes contribute to our ability to stay steady and avoid potential dangers in everyday life, often without us even realizing it. However, as we age, the sharpness and clarity of our vision may start to decline, presenting challenges that can impact our sense of balance and overall mobility. Conditions like cataracts, which cloud the lens of the eye, or glaucoma, which gradually reduces peripheral vision, can creep in quietly but have profound effects. Imagine walking down a familiar street and suddenly finding it harder to judge the depth of a step or to notice a small obstacle in your path. It's a deeply unsettling experience. For many, these changes can lead to feelings of frustration and even fear. Losing the ability to trust your vision fully can make once simple tasks feel daunting and can strip away a sense of independence. I've seen how vision issues can make someone feel disconnected from their surroundings, hesitant to venture out, and reliant on others in ways they never anticipated. But it's essential to approach these challenges with a proactive mindset and a hopeful heart. Regular eye checkups, timely treatments, and proper care can make a world of difference. Modern medicine has given us incredible tools to address these issues, from cataract surgery to advanced glaucoma management. And while it's natural to feel emotional about the changes, remembering that support and solutions are available can bring a sense of empowerment. Your vision is not just about seeing. It's about living fully, embracing your surroundings, and maintaining confidence in your movement. Protecting it is one of the most loving things you can do for yourself as you age. 6. Vitamin B12 deficiency. Vitamin B12 plays a vital role in keeping our bodies functioning smoothly, supporting the nervous system, and aiding in the production of healthy blood cells. Yet, as we age, the body's ability to absorb this crucial nutrient often diminishes, creating an invisible threat to our health. This deficiency can creep up quietly, leaving its mark through troubling symptoms that many people might dismiss as just getting older. Have you ever felt an unexplained fatigue that refuses to fade, or noticed numbness or tingling in your hands and feet? These could be subtle cries for help from a body running low on vitamin B12. This essential nutrient also protects the myelin sheath, a vital layer safeguarding our nerves. Without it, the nervous system begins to falter, leading to coordination and balance problems, difficulty walking, and even memory and concentration issues. Imagine the frustration of losing your footing while doing something as simple as walking to the kitchen or forgetting important details that once came naturally. It's heartbreaking to think that something so easily preventable could rob someone of their independence and peace of mind. Left unchecked, a B12 deficiency can lead to anemia, draining your energy and leaving you feeling perpetually exhausted. For many older adults, this fatigue can be devastating. It's not just about feeling tired. It's about losing the drive to enjoy life, pursue passions, and spend quality time with loved ones. I find it deeply unsettling to consider how such a small deficiency can ripple through someone's life, impacting not just their health but also their happiness. The good news? Awareness and proactive care can make all the difference. Regular checkups, vitamin-rich foods like fish, meat, and dairy, or supplements prescribed by a doctor can safeguard against this deficiency. Taking charge of your health means embracing the vitality and energy you deserve at every age. Don't let vitamin B12 deficiency steal the joy of living, because every moment, every memory, and every step matters. 7. Medications. As we age, maintaining our health often means relying on various medications to manage chronic conditions, but this reliance can quietly introduce new challenges that many overlook. For older adults, taking multiple medications, often referred to as polypharmacy, can significantly increase the risk of falls and other health complications. This is particularly concerning with medications like blood pressure regulators, antidepressants, and sleeping aids, which can interfere with balance, coordination, and alertness. The interaction between these medications is not just a medical issue, it's a deeply personal and emotional one. Imagine the fear of falling in your own home, a place where you should feel safe and secure, or the frustration of constantly feeling unsteady, knowing the very medications meant to help you might be contributing to these problems. As we grow older, our bodies become more sensitive to drugs, magnifying their effects and, sometimes, their dangers. This issue can feel overwhelming, even heartbreaking, for both the individual and their loved ones. It's a delicate balance, literally and figuratively, between treating health conditions and preserving quality of life. In my opinion, this is where a proactive approach becomes essential. Doctors and patients need open, honest conversations about the necessity of every prescription, the potential side effects, and alternatives that might be safer. Caregivers must also stay vigilant, watching for signs of dizziness, confusion, or other side effects that might not always be immediately obvious. There's a profound emotional toll when medications, designed to heal, inadvertently add to life's challenges. It's not just about falling. It's about losing independence, dignity, and peace of mind. No one should have to face these struggles alone. With the right support and a mindful approach to medication management, it's possible to address these risks and continue living with confidence and grace in your later years. 8. Chronic health problems. As we grow older, our bodies inevitably change in ways that we might not always be prepared for, and unfortunately, some of these changes can have a profound impact on our balance and stability. The challenges posed by chronic health problems are often not immediately obvious, but can become increasingly difficult to manage over time. These conditions are some of the leading causes of balance problems in older adults, and they can affect not only the physical body but also the emotional well-being of those who suffer from them. Diabetes, Parkinson's disease, stroke, and even more common conditions like arthritis can all interfere with the delicate equilibrium our bodies rely on to move safely and confidently through the world. Diabetes, for instance, is often associated with something called diabetic neuropathy, a condition that causes nerve damage, particularly in the feet and legs. The feet are one of the most crucial parts of our body for maintaining balance, and when the nerves there are damaged, the ability to feel the ground beneath us can be lost. This loss of sensation can make it incredibly difficult to tell if you're standing on uneven ground or if you're about to trip, which dramatically increases the risk of falling. What makes diabetes especially challenging is that it affects so many different parts of the body, and its impact on balance can be subtle at first, only becoming more pronounced as the condition progresses. This slow, creeping deterioration can feel overwhelming, as it often requires a shift in how we live our daily lives, forcing people to take extra precautions just to stay safe. Similarly, Parkinson's disease is another neurological disorder that can severely affect balance. Parkinson's causes tremors, stiffness, and perhaps most importantly, a lack of coordination. For individuals with Parkinson's, the very act of standing or walking can become an exhausting and precarious task. The muscles don't respond the way they should, leading to a feeling of instability and a fear of falling. Parkinson's affects not just physical movement but also a person's confidence. As someone with Parkinson's struggles to maintain their balance, they often begin to feel more isolated, less capable, and more dependent on others, which can be emotionally draining. I've witnessed firsthand how this condition can steal away not only a person's physical strength but also their sense of autonomy and dignity. It is heartbreaking to see someone lose their ability to perform simple tasks like walking across a room or standing up without help. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. A stroke is yet another condition that can damage the brain's ability to control the muscles responsible for balance. When a stroke occurs, the brain's communication pathways are disrupted, and the affected individual may experience weakness or paralysis on one side of the body. The resulting imbalance can make even the most basic movements feel like a monumental effort. It's incredibly disheartening to see how someone's life can change in an instant due to a stroke, leaving them struggling to regain the balance and stability they once took for granted. The emotional toll of this can be devastating, as people often feel a profound sense of loss of independence, loss of physical function, and sometimes a loss of hope. Even arthritis, a condition that may not directly affect balance in the same way, can make it far more difficult to maintain stability. Arthritis causes pain and stiffness in the joints, especially in the knees, hips, and spine, which are crucial for movement and support. The inflammation and discomfort associated with arthritis can limit mobility, making it harder to walk, stand for long periods, or navigate stairs. When the joints don't move smoothly, the body compensates in other ways, and that can lead to instability, unsteady walking, and a greater risk of falls. In addition to the physical discomfort, the emotional strain of living with constant pain and limited mobility can lead to feelings of frustration, helplessness, and sadness. It's not easy to accept that you can't do the things you once loved because of physical limitations, and the emotional burden of that realization can be overwhelming. I've seen how these conditions gradually take away a person's sense of control over their body. The smallest tasks can suddenly become major obstacles. A trip to the grocery store, once a simple errand, now requires a cane or walker. A walk in the park, once an enjoyable exercise, is now a slow and careful maneuver. I can't help but feel for those who are trapped in a cycle of physical and emotional hardship, trying their best to navigate a world that no longer seems as accessible or as safe as it once did. It's not just the fear of falling that people with these conditions face, it's the fear of losing their independence, of being a burden to loved ones, of being left behind. What's perhaps most heartbreaking is that these chronic conditions often come with a sense of invisibility. While the effects of conditions like Parkinson's or diabetes may be visible to some extent, the internal struggles, the exhaustion, the frustration, the emotional toll, are not always obvious. People who suffer from these conditions often feel like they're fighting a battle that others don't see, and that can lead to feelings of isolation. That's why it's so important to approach chronic health problems with empathy and understanding. It's not enough to simply address the physical symptoms. We must also recognize the emotional and psychological impact of living with these conditions. I believe that recognizing the complexities of these health issues is the first step in providing meaningful support. We need to offer more than just medical treatment. We need to provide emotional support, companionship, and reassurance. It's vital to create environments where people feel understood and empowered, where they're not just seen as their medical conditions, but as individuals with unique needs, hopes, and challenges. With the right support system in place, whether it's through medical interventions, emotional care, or practical solutions, we can help those affected by chronic health problems reclaim a sense of balance, both physically and emotionally, and continue to live fulfilling lives. 9. Dehydration. Dehydration is a hidden but serious issue, particularly among older adults, and it's something that many people don't fully appreciate until its effects begin to show. As we age, our body undergoes numerous changes, and one of the more subtle but impactful shifts is the diminishing ability to sense thirst. This means that older adults may not feel thirsty even when their bodies need water, leading to an increased risk of dehydration without them even realizing it. This can be further complicated by medications, particularly diuretics, which are commonly prescribed to manage conditions like high blood pressure, heart failure, and other cardiovascular issues. While these medications are necessary for managing health, they work by promoting the elimination of excess water from the body, which can inadvertently contribute to dehydration if fluid intake isn't carefully monitored. The consequences of dehydration in older adults are not just inconvenient, they can be downright dangerous. Dehydration can cause dizziness, lightheadedness, and a feeling of unsteadiness that many may brush off as a normal part of aging. However, this simple lightheadedness can be a precursor to something far worse. When dehydration causes dizziness, it significantly increases the risk of falls. For older adults, falls are one of the leading causes of injury, and the repercussions can be life-altering. A fall might seem like a minor accident, but it can lead to fractures, sprains, or worse, and the recovery process can be long and difficult. What's even more concerning is that the fear of falling, once experienced, can become a mental barrier, leading to decreased physical activity, increased isolation, and a general decline in quality of life. In addition to dizziness, dehydration can also have a profound effect on cognitive function. Older adults are particularly vulnerable to confusion, memory issues, and difficulty concentrating when they are dehydrated. This mental fog can further complicate the situation, making it harder for them to recognize the symptoms of dehydration or take action to address it. It becomes a vicious cycle. Dehydration leads to cognitive decline, which in turn makes it even harder to maintain the awareness necessary to stay hydrated. It's crucial, therefore, to understand how important hydration is for the body as a whole. When we stay hydrated, We help our body maintain a normal blood volume, which ensures proper circulation. Blood is responsible for transporting oxygen and essential nutrients to all of the body's organs and tissues. Without proper hydration, the blood becomes thicker, circulation slows down, and organs, particularly the heart, brain, and kidneys, are at risk of being underfed and underoxygenated. This can cause a wide range of complications, from fatigue and confusion to more serious conditions like kidney stones, urinary tract infections, and even kidney failure. Beyond the cardiovascular and cognitive aspects, hydration also plays an essential role in maintaining proper body temperature. Older adults, especially those with chronic conditions, may struggle with regulating body temperature, which makes them more susceptible to heat stroke or hypothermia. Proper hydration supports the body's natural cooling mechanisms, allowing older adults to better tolerate environmental extremes, whether it's a hot summer day or a chilly winter night. Hydration also directly impacts muscle and joint function, which are vital for mobility and overall physical health. Muscles rely on adequate fluid levels to contract and relax properly, and joints depend on synovial fluid, which is largely made up of water, to stay lubricated and function without pain. As we age, muscle mass naturally declines, and joints often begin to suffer from arthritis or other wear and tear issues. Dehydration can exacerbate these problems, leading to joint stiffness, muscle cramps, and an increased risk of strain or injury during physical activity. From a personal perspective, I believe hydration is something we often overlook, especially when we're busy or distracted. We can get so caught up in our day-to-day routines that we forget something as simple as drinking water. But the truth is, staying hydrated is one of the most effective ways to protect our health, not just for the elderly, but for everyone. It's a simple act that goes a long way in maintaining overall wellness. I know from my own experience how easy it is to get distracted by work or daily tasks, but I've learned that making a conscious effort to drink water regularly is one of the best forms of self-care. It's a small habit that can make a huge difference. For older adults, the consequences of neglecting hydration are far more severe. Taking the time to drink water throughout the day, especially when it's difficult to remember to do so, is a simple but vital step in maintaining health and well-being. Older adults may need reminders to drink water. Setting timers, placing water bottles around the house, or asking caregivers to assist can make a world of difference. Dehydration is something we can control with just a little extra attention. With proper hydration, older adults can maintain better cognitive function, reduce their risk of falls, preserve their independence, and ultimately lead healthier, more fulfilling lives. 10. Fear of falling. It may seem surprising at first, but the fear of falling can increase the likelihood of falling. This is a paradox that many people find difficult to understand, and yet it is a reality that we must confront. When we become consumed by the fear of losing our balance or stumbling, we unknowingly set ourselves up for failure. This fear, though well-intentioned, leads us to act in ways that make us more vulnerable rather than protecting us. People who are overly cautious, stiff, and worried about every step they take tend to move less fluidly, and this rigid movement only makes them more prone to accidents. When someone is terrified of falling, they often become tense, and every step feels like a calculated risk. Instead of moving confidently, their bodies tense up, and each movement feels restricted and unnatural. This unnatural rigidity often leads to a lack of coordination and instability, which ironically increases the chances of losing balance. It's as though the body is paralyzed by the very fear that is meant to keep it safe. Every step becomes a hesitant shuffle, every turn a calculated maneuver, and every task that once seemed simple becomes an overwhelming challenge. This fear does more than just make us uncomfortable in the moment. It can create a vicious cycle that escalates over time, leading to more physical limitations and even greater fear. When people are afraid to move freely or engage in activities they once enjoyed, their muscles begin to weaken. They may stop exercising, walking, or engaging in any physical activity that could help maintain strength and balance. Over time, the lack of movement leads to muscle atrophy, and the body becomes more fragile. As muscles weaken and joints stiffen, the risk of falling only increases. It's a heartbreaking reality, and I've witnessed it firsthand. The more you try to protect yourself from falling, the more you set yourself up for it. What's even more tragic is that this fear often has a snowball effect. Once someone experiences a fall, whether it's a small stumble or a more serious accident, their anxiety about falling intensifies. And because of this heightened anxiety, they become even more cautious and less willing to move freely. This leads to further muscle weakness, poor coordination, and a diminished sense of confidence. It's a cruel cycle that becomes increasingly difficult to break. What starts as a protective instinct, being careful not to fall, ends up weakening the very foundation of our physical abilities. As we get older or face physical challenges, the fear of falling can become all-consuming. It's completely natural to feel concerned about losing balance or injuring ourselves, but the emotional weight of that fear can sometimes paralyze us. It's easy to give in to the instinct to be overly careful, to avoid going out for walks, to decline invitations to socialize, or to shy away from trying new things that might involve some risk. But the reality is that by avoiding these activities, we make ourselves more vulnerable. The more we withdraw from physical challenges, the more we limit our range of motion and weaken our strength. It's a tragic irony. We avoid physical exertion because we fear falling, but that avoidance causes us to become more frail and fragile. I've seen how this cycle affects people, how it steals away their independence, their vitality, and their joy in life. It's disheartening to watch someone stop living fully because of a fear that, in many ways, is self-fulfilling. The simple act of walking, which once was a natural and effortless part of life, becomes a daunting and stressful ordeal. And while the fear of falling is entirely legitimate, it's important to recognize that it is the fear itself, rather than the act of moving, that creates the most harm. The key to breaking this cycle is learning to face the fear, bit by bit, with patience and determination. While it's understandable to be cautious, we must also recognize the importance of staying active and engaged in life. It's not about taking reckless risks, but about finding a balance between caution and confidence. Engaging in regular physical activity, even something as simple as walking or stretching, can help strengthen muscles, improve balance, and restore a sense of control. It's about rebuilding confidence in our bodies, piece by piece. Slowly and steadily, we can regain the strength and flexibility that fear took away. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. The process isn't easy, and it certainly takes time, but it is possible. I believe with all my heart that the only way to truly escape the fear of falling is to gently push against it, to move despite it, and to trust that with each step, we are regaining not just our physical strength, but our independence and our sense of self. The fear will always be there, but it doesn't have to control us. Instead of letting fear dictate our lives, we can choose to embrace movement, to embrace life, and to move forward with renewed courage. The journey may be slow, but each small victory will bring us closer to the freedom we deserve. 11. Reduced foot sensitivity. As we age, one of the subtle yet impactful changes that occur in our bodies is a gradual reduction in the sensitivity of our feet. The soles of our feet, often forgotten as we go about our busy lives, are home to a complex network of nerve endings that play a crucial role in maintaining our balance, coordination, and mobility. These nerve endings allow us to feel the ground beneath us, whether it's the hard concrete of a sidewalk, the soft grass of a park, or the uneven surfaces we walk on daily. This constant feedback helps us make minute adjustments to our posture and gait, ensuring we stay stable and don't stumble or fall. It's remarkable how much we rely on the sensitivity of our feet without even thinking about it. We are so accustomed to the ability to feel changes in the ground beneath us that it becomes second nature. When we take a step, our feet instinctively detect shifts in pressure, temperature, and texture. If we walk over a rock, uneven pavement, or even a small patch of ice, our feet send signals to our brains, helping us adjust our steps accordingly to maintain balance. Without this constant flow of sensory information, it would be easy to trip or lose our footing. However, as we grow older, this sensitivity starts to diminish. The natural aging process can cause a decrease in the efficiency of the nerve endings in our feet. It's not uncommon for older adults to experience a marked reduction in foot sensitivity, which can make simple activities like walking or standing for extended periods more challenging. This reduction in foot sensitivity can have a serious impact on a person's ability to walk safely and confidently. What's even more concerning is that this loss of sensation is not just an inevitable part of aging. It is often exacerbated by certain health conditions, especially those related to the nervous system. One of the most common conditions associated with reduced foot sensitivity is diabetes. Over time, high blood sugar levels can damage the peripheral nerves, a condition known as diabetic neuropathy. This can lead to numbness, tingling, or a complete loss of sensation in the feet, which can be both alarming and dangerous. People with diabetic neuropathy may no longer feel injuries like cuts, blisters, or sores on their feet, making it easier for infections to develop unnoticed. The inability to feel a pinprick, a bump, or an unusual texture underfoot means that something as simple as stepping on a sharp object or a patch of ice can result in falls or accidents that might otherwise be avoided. It's not just diabetes. Other nerve conditions such as peripheral artery disease, multiple sclerosis, or even conditions like arthritis can also affect foot sensitivity. This gradual loss of sensation can leave individuals feeling disconnected from their bodies, making it difficult to trust their feet and movements. It's a frightening thought that something as basic as walking, an action we take for granted every day, can become fraught with uncertainty and risk as we age or deal with chronic health issues. The emotional and psychological impact of losing foot sensitivity can be profound as well. It's not just about the physical discomfort of feeling numb or disconnected from the ground beneath you. It's about the loss of independence and confidence. For many older adults, the ability to walk safely is closely tied to their sense of freedom and self-sufficiency. When foot sensitivity decreases, it can lead to a feeling of vulnerability. Every step becomes an act of uncertainty, and the fear of falling or getting injured can become overwhelming. The anxiety about not being able to feel the ground beneath you can limit your willingness to move around, making you less active and more isolated. Over time, this lack of mobility can contribute to a decline in overall physical health and well-being, leading to a vicious cycle of inactivity, depression, and further loss of function. Thinking about this reduction in foot sensitivity, I feel a deep sense of empathy for those affected. It's so easy to overlook how essential our feet are until we begin to lose the ability to fully appreciate them. I can't help but feel a sense of sadness when I think about how something as simple as a walk in the park or a trip to the grocery store becomes more of a challenge when you can no longer feel the subtle shifts in the ground beneath your feet. It's a stark reminder that the body is an intricate system of interconnected parts, and when one part starts to falter, the whole system is affected. This gradual loss of foot sensitivity is also a powerful reminder of the importance of taking care of our bodies, especially as we age. It highlights the need for proactive measures to preserve nerve health and prevent conditions like neuropathy from worsening. Regular foot care, staying active, managing blood sugar levels, and maintaining overall health can all play a significant role in reducing the risk of losing foot sensitivity. Wearing proper footwear, performing exercises to strengthen the feet, and checking the feet regularly for signs of injury or infection are all essential practices to prevent the complications associated with reduced foot sensitivity. In the end, the loss of foot sensitivity is not just a physical issue, it's an emotional and psychological one as well. It's a subtle but poignant reminder of the passage of time and the importance of taking care of our bodies as we age. It's a call to action to remain vigilant about our health, not just for our safety, but for our independence, our confidence, and our ability to continue experiencing the world beneath our feet in all its texture, warmth, and variety. 12. Postural changes. As we age, our bodies inevitably undergo a series of postural changes, some of which are so gradual that we don't realize the impact until they become more pronounced or even problematic. One of the most noticeable changes is the development of a more hunched posture, where the shoulders begin to round, and the spine takes on a more curved shape. Another common issue is the forward head posture, where the head shifts slightly forward, putting additional strain on the neck and back muscles. These seemingly minor shifts can cause a significant imbalance in the alignment of our spine and the position of our center of gravity. At first, these changes are so subtle that they go unnoticed, often unnoticed until we experience discomfort or find ourselves struggling with everyday tasks that once seemed effortless, such as standing for extended periods or walking without feeling unstable. The impact of these postural changes goes far beyond mere aesthetics. As our posture shifts, so does our ability to maintain balance. The misalignment of the spine affects how we distribute our body weight, making it harder to stay steady, especially when we are on uneven ground or engaging in physical activities. Over time, this gradual shift in posture can lead to a range of physical issues, including chronic back and neck pain, headaches, and even a decreased ability to engage in physical activity or exercise. It's a reminder of how the body, in its silent way, adapts to the passage of time, often without us even realizing it. I've found that these changes have become more noticeable as I've gotten older. What used to be a natural, effortless way of standing or walking now requires more thought and awareness. I can no longer rely on my body to maintain the same posture without conscious effort. There are days when I feel the weight of these changes acutely, especially in my back and neck, when sitting for too long or standing for hours becomes physically taxing. I've started to pay more attention to how I hold myself throughout the day, adjusting my posture, doing stretches, and being mindful of my movements. It's a humbling experience to realize how much our posture influences our daily comfort and well-being. What once felt like a small, insignificant part of life suddenly seems so much more important. It's also clear to me that this process of aging is not something we can ignore. If we are not proactive in taking care of our posture and balance, we may face bigger challenges down the road, such as falls or injuries that could drastically affect our quality of life. In my experience, I've learned that making small changes, like practicing good posture, engaging in exercises that strengthen the core, and stretching regularly, can have a profound impact on preventing these issues from worsening. It's not just about looking younger or standing taller. It's about ensuring that our bodies can continue to function at their best, even as we grow older. It's an ongoing reminder of the importance of self-care and staying attuned to our bodies. And perhaps, the ultimate lesson is to embrace these changes with grace, understanding that they are a natural part of the aging process, but not something we have to simply accept without taking action. 13. Cognitive decline. Our brain is nothing short of extraordinary, acting as the central hub that processes and integrates the sensory information necessary for every movement and action we make. It coordinates the intricate balance of signals that allow us to walk, run, stand, and even perform tasks that seem effortless at first glance. From the moment we wake up in the morning, our brain works tirelessly, integrating sensory data from our eyes, ears, skin, and other organs to help us navigate the world around us. This is particularly crucial when it comes to maintaining our physical balance, something we often take for granted. Our brain ensures that we can move through the world smoothly, without stumbling, even when distracted by other thoughts or actions. However, what happens when this finely tuned system begins to decline, even if only slightly? Cognitive decline, no matter how mild, can disrupt our ability to process information efficiently, leading to noticeable difficulties in both physical and mental tasks. It's not just about forgetfulness or confusion. It's about the speed at which we process sensory information, make decisions, and execute movements. Even a small slowdown in these processes can have a significant impact on our daily lives. Suddenly, tasks that once felt second nature, such as walking while talking, carrying a heavy bag, or navigating a crowded space, can become more challenging, more risky, and sometimes even overwhelming. When we try to multitask, the effects of cognitive decline become even more pronounced. Take, for example, the simple act of carrying groceries while talking to someone on the phone. Under normal circumstances, we can juggle these tasks effortlessly. Our brain processes the conversation while also tracking our physical movements to prevent us from dropping a jar of pasta sauce or tripping over a curb. But with even mild cognitive changes, that same task can feel like trying to juggle too many balls in the air at once. Our mind struggles to allocate attention between the two activities, and we may end up dropping something, losing our train of thought, or tripping over something we might have easily avoided in the past. I often reflect on how easy it is to forget just how much our brain does for us every day. It's like the silent partner in our everyday lives, working diligently behind the scenes to keep us functioning smoothly. But when that cognitive system begins to weaken or slow down, it's almost as though that partner takes a step back, leaving us to manage on our own without the support we've always relied on. The impact is not just physical, it's emotional as well. The frustration of realizing we can't keep up with the things we once did effortlessly can be disheartening and disorienting. We may feel embarrassed when we forget something simple, or anxious when we realize that tasks are taking us longer than they used to. And what's even more unsettling is that cognitive decline often starts so subtly that we barely notice it at first. A missed word here, a delayed reaction there. Small, almost imperceptible changes that might not raise any immediate alarms. But over time, these small shifts add up, and suddenly the tasks we used to do with ease feel much more laborious. This can be especially disconcerting when we find ourselves struggling to do things we never thought twice about before, like balancing a conversation while carrying groceries or navigating a busy street without stumbling. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment below to let me know that you are still here with me. What makes this situation even more poignant is that our cognitive health is so intrinsically linked to our overall well-being. It's not just about staying sharp, it's about maintaining the ability to live independently, to stay engaged with the world, and to feel confident in our ability to move through life with ease. Cognitive decline, even in its mildest form, can slowly take away that sense of autonomy, leaving us feeling more vulnerable and uncertain. This is why it's so important to take proactive steps to protect our brain health, to keep our minds active and engaged, and to be aware of any signs that our mental faculties might be slipping. I truly believe that this gradual decline is a reminder of how fragile and precious our cognitive abilities are. It makes me appreciate the small things, the ability to think quickly, to multitask, to stay balanced in both mind and body. It's a reminder of just how deeply our mental and physical health are intertwined, and how easily one can affect the other. We often don't realize how much we depend on our cognitive function until it begins to fade, and when it does, it can feel like the ground beneath us is slowly eroding. The emotional toll this can take is also profound. It's not just about struggling with tasks, it's about the sense of loss, the realization that we are no longer the person we once were. The person who could navigate through life with confidence, who could multitask effortlessly, who could balance the demands of everyday life without breaking a sweat. When that ability starts to slip away, it can lead to feelings of frustration, sadness, and even fear. It's not just about the inconvenience of needing help with small tasks, but the deeper emotional impact of feeling disconnected from the world in a way that was never true before. Wow, what an important and eye-opening discussion on cognitive decline. We've taken a deep dive into how even subtle changes in our brain's ability to process information can have a significant impact on our daily lives, from balancing a conversation to carrying groceries or simply moving through a crowded space. It's a powerful reminder of how closely our cognitive health is connected to both our mental and physical well-being. Now, I want to hear from you. What's one key takeaway you've learned today that you plan to bring into your daily life? How will you take action to protect your cognitive health? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to know what resonated most with you. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, don't forget to leave your comment, like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more valuable content just like this. Stay tuned for more videos on how we can all take better care of our brains and our overall well-being. Thank you for watching.